Alright, welcome to a new little guide tier list thing for one of the Gloomhaven characters. We're looking at the Scoundrel today. Fan favorite? Like, people love this guy, right? I haven't played him the most. I played him quite a bit, though. Disclaimers, like, what do you need to know, taking into account how I rate the cards? Well, you would need to know that I play on brutal most of the time, so that's kind of where I look at my characters, kind of why I don't tank a lot. I like to stay back, I like to not get hit. Any round no one attacks me, awesome. I don't burn that many cards, usually. For the Scoundrel here, items matter, right? I like items I can use over and over again. I like to long rest, get my items back. So that's an important thing. I probably value his ranged abilities more than the close combat abilities. I do usually have the invisibility cloak on him, because that's a way to go close without getting attacked. Let's look a little bit on the Scoundrel. He has 9 cards, so that's one of the lower card supplies of any character, which means for me I rarely burn cards until the very end of a mission. It means you shouldn't burn a card before the first long rest, in my opinion. He's easy to play, yes, absolutely. He doesn't use elements, which adds difficulty to any character or planning. His role is melee damage. Yes, he's a great single target melee character. I've had some fun with him as an ranged character as well, or having like his multi-target hit ranged attacks, and dealing a lot of AoE actually if people are not shielded. That is. Let's look at his strengths. He's got high mobility. Yeah, he's got move 5, move 4, all over the place. Move 3 with extra abilities. Really strong. Potential for high melee damage, absolutely. As I already said, he's got several abilities to afflict enemies with poison, which is nice. Weaknesses, little in the way of effects that assist teammates. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. He's a solo guy. He's good at dealing damage, staying out of harm's way himself, but doesn't really help his buddies. Few defensive abilities and low health. Yeah, I don't really value defensive abilities that much. He's got one I think is really good. Or I think it's good, but it never works out. I'll talk about it when we get to that card. And he will try and take all the gold. Now, usually there's a joke on the weaknesses. Not with this guy. He's great at looting, and I like loot. I don't care that much about experience, because, you know, that's going to make enemies stronger as well, so I'm in no rush to level up my dudes. But money, cash is king, right? So that's the Scoundrel. Let's take a look at his cards and see where we might place them when we try this little minigame of ours. We're starting with Single Out. We also got the background music from Gloomhaven Digital up and running now. Single Out. Initiative first. 86, I think that's a great initiative. It means you probably go last, right? He can go invisible, so you want some late initiative cards. Also, I usually have the cloak in addition to his cards. So, 86 initiative. That is top notch. Top. Attack for 3. Add +2 attack and gain 1 experience when the target is adjacent to any of your allies. Now, that's great. It's an attack for 5 without being a burn. If like the Brute has an attack for 6, but it is a burn, right? And this just puts that to shame, because it's kind of easy, especially if you go late after the enemies. Like, someone's gonna have moved up to one of your guys, or your guys will have moved up to the enemies. You can also bring the ring on this guy, who summons a skeleton. to trigger this. That's a good trinket to have on him. We'll drop into some items. But yeah, an attack for 5. That's great. Awesome. And then, on the bottom, on your next 4 attacks targeting enemies adjacent to none of their allies, add +2 attack. It's a burn. So, I don't usually burn a lot of cards with this guy. I do it at the end. This could be good for the last room. Definitely, it could be good in a boss fight, for sure. Couple it up with Smoke Bomb. I see a lot of value in the bottom, and the top is so simple to use that, yeah, I'm gonna struggle with not placing this on like S tier, because I think the top action is fantastic with high initiative. Well, fantastic. It's an attack for 5, but still, that's... And I did the brute before this, and yeah, we might move it at some point. I'll have to see, because he's got great cards. I'll put it single out on S tier right away. Shit. I feel like we're gonna just stack the top with a bunch of good cards right now. Single out. S tier. Flanking Strike. Ooh. Initiative 4. I value that more than, like, low initiative more than high initiative. I think it's more often you want to go super early. Because you can then adjust to what the enemies are doing. You can't do that if you're going late, right? The top is the same as single out. It's great. It's a move 5, which is fantastic. Yeah. It's got to go on top again. I think so. We got to just put this, like, just for the initiative and the move 5. It's a fantastic card. Now, like, I might be colored by the brute here. But yeah, Flanking Strike is great. There's not much more to say, because I mentioned the top on the previous card. Smoke Bomb, one of his more interesting cards. 12 initiative, which is great. Awesome initiative. The top is a burn. So I would wait with using the top until later. It gives you invisible. And on your next attack while invisible, you double the value of the attack and gain 2 experience. It generates dark. Now, this can be together with another card that comes later on. It's gonna be sick. It's also good with the Flanking Strike. It can become an attack for 10 immediately if you use single out here as well. The bottom there, you have 2 more attack on your abilities if enemies aren't close together, and then you do Flanking Strike to attack for 7. And you have Smoke Bomb, you attack for 14. That's pretty sick at level 1. And it's kind of... Well, you have to set it up a little bit. I mean, that's 3 cards over 2 rounds. But still, yeah. You go invisible. Next round, you put out single out, and then you do the Flanking Strike. Not that hard to do. So, Smoke Bomb, really... one of the more fun cards he has, because it's kind of special. But it's a burn on the top, so hopefully the bottom is good. I don't think the bottom is that good. You can pull someone over to you, which makes it easier to do things like single out or Flanking Strike. You can pull people into traps. It's definitely useful in quite a few situations, but not always. So this card will be a card I sometimes end up using the basic action on, and that bothers me a little bit. So that's gonna be A tier for me. We need to put some cards on A tier. I do feel like that's a bit unfair, almost, comparing it to the 2 cards over it. I'll put Smoke Bomb on A tier. It's not... Sometimes I just don't need it. Because I will use it at the end of a mission and I've done well. And then it's like, it doesn't really help me smooth the mission over. I like to do the first rooms. If I can control the first rooms, do them well, get a long rest at the end of them. And when I get to the last room, I'm going to be in good control. And Smoke Bomb may be great if you're struggling, but often it's not going to impact... it's not going to have that much of an impact in the missions I've played with the Scoundrel. Maybe I would value it higher on like the deadly difficulty. I'm not sure. But yeah, let's go A tier on that. It's definitely a good card. Backstab. Attack for 3. Well, 6 initiative. Great. Awesome. Slightly less good than 4, I guess. But still, you're probably gonna go first. Except against a few enemies. May have like an 1/8 of a chance to go before you. Mostly it's gonna be you go first. Backstab. Top is a burn. Add +2 attack and gain 1 experience when the target is adjacent to any of your allies. Add +2 attack and gain 1 experience when the target is adjacent to none of its allies. So the top could be an attack for 7 if certain conditions are met. On a burn. But you can just do 5 if one of these conditions are met. So the Backstab's top is shit unless you get both of those conditions met. Because if you don't meet both of those conditions, Flanking Strike and Single Out will do as much damage. I think the top burn for the Scoundrel, it's kind of shit. Which means this is a move 6 card. Where you can go early. Now, if that was the Brute, I'd almost put it at S tier. Well, especially because of his other cards, which he can do like an attack for 6. But I think we're gonna go B tier here, because move 6 is great, but the Scoundrel has so much movement. He already has a move 5 up here. This is a card I don't think I usually bring this, but it's not bad. Let's just make that clear. It's not a bad card. But yeah, we gotta go B tier there. Feels a bit unfair. Can we move this slightly up? Not really. I'll just make this one a little bit smaller. Okay. B tier, our first B tier card. Backstab. Are we gonna have anything on C tier? Thieves' Knack. 23 initiative is kind of shit for the Scoundrel. Because it's not that early. And it's gonna be a card I rarely use for the initiative, honestly. For others, it would be good. But for the Scoundrel, 23 initiative, there's so many cards that are faster, and you're not gonna use 23 to go late. So initiative is bad. For the Scoundrel. Top, disarm 1 adjacent trap. 2 experience. Well, traps scale with the difficulty. When you play on Brutal, traps do a lot of damage. You don't want to... like, traps is an advantage to you. You don't want to not use them. You want to pull people into them. I think the top is bad. Unless you like the experience. I don't care that much about the experience. Unless I have a personal quest to get a lot of experience. Then this can help you do that. But I don't think the top is going to help you win any missions. And that's kind of what I'm rating stuff on. Well, on me winning missions. Bottom is an attack for 3 with experience. So that means for many characters, it means standing still. For the Scoundrel, you have 1 card with move abilities on top. Attack on the bottom is pretty great. It's pretty great. That means making 2 attacks. Hard for me. If you look at his current cards, I don't think we can place it with Smoke Bomb. I would rated higher than Backstab, but we're gonna put it in B tier. Even though, like, yeah, it's fairly simple to get that attack for 3 off. B tier. Let's just put it there. Let's see what happens. Venom Shiv. 60 initiative. Shit. It's kind of late for him, but he has later cards. One of the reasons I will bring Single out is the initiative of 86 there. So, initiative is bad. Venom Shiv. Obviously, there's poison here. Attack for 3, poison, and 1 experience. Attack for 3 with poison, I think that's awesome. It's gonna, if you need like 2 more attacks on someone after this, it's gonna be as good as Flanking Strike and Single Out, and maybe even more. If people have shields, poison is nice. Poison is, in my opinion, pretty great against a lot of enemies, especially those with high health pools, and especially if you play with characters who can do several attacks, like the Hive, which is from Frosthaven. So, but also a lot of other characters can do several attacks a turn. So poison would be great. I think the top is fine. Is it as good as Single Out and Flanking Strike? On Brutal, maybe. Sometimes, other times not. I'd probably rate Single Out and Flanking Strike a little bit higher. Bottom is move 5, which is great. Another reason why I don't think this move 6 here is that great, because this is another card I will usually bring from the start with move 5. Initiative is bad, so we're gonna place this on A tier. Almost feels high, but I would have expected myself to put it further down. But after talking about it, I don't see why it should be that much further down from Single Out and Flanking Strike. Throwing Knives. Initiative 10. Awesome. Right. Now here I'm biased. I'm biased here. Because this is a ranged attacks, and I do like my ranged attacks. The top is an attack for 2, range 3, 2 targets. Nothing super special. The Tinkerer has the exact same thing. It does help you attack, like do a little bit of AoE. It's not AoE, it's 2 people. But still, I think the top is fine, and nothing great. The bottom is a loot to burn, which I don't like. Loot 2 on the bottom, yeah, maybe I'll use it like in the Black Barrow. You would use it on the last in the last room. If you kept this card, this is not a card I will keep until the end. So the loot 2 with burn I will rarely use, which makes this card not that great. And I'm saying that even though I personally like it, I think we're gonna go, oh shit, should we just put it down in C tier? It's definitely worse than, I think, like, Thief's Knack is better. I don't know whether it's worth, like, I would probably start with this over Backstab. But still, just thinking about this, it's go first, probably, and attack for 2 on 2 targets at range. I like ranged, but honestly, it's not a great card. For the Scoundrel, because he's got some sick cards. So I'm going to put it down in C tier. I haven't looked at all the cards while doing this, so maybe now I'll be forced to put a bunch of cards down there. But I don't think so. Let's put it on the bottom. We got to have something on the bottom for the Scoundrel as well, right? Quick Hands. 64 initiative. It is shit. But this card has move on the top, which makes it pretty awesome. You move 2, you attack 2, and then you do Thief's Knack maybe. You can do that at initiative 23. Actually, this is a place where the initiative on Thief's Knack matters. You don't want to go at 64 normally, because you will have no idea where you're going. So yeah, I think the top is good. You could also move into position to use the pull on Smoke Bomb with this. Get someone into a trap. That's pretty good. It's could be an attack for 4 if you throw out single out here with your next. Yeah, it's behind all the others. Sorry. Where you get +2 attack on targets alone. So you could then have a quick hands to move to attack 4. Lots of good ways to use this card. Bottom is a loot one. It's loot on the bottom. For once, we can say that the brute has loot on top, which is better. Now, loot 1 on the bottom would have been better if quick hands, if the top was on another card. Because normally you would want to move into position to loot. You can do that on the turn before, of course. I think this card is the top. I think the top is pretty good. How often, when I've played with him, do I use quick hands with like the obvious choice of Thieves' Knack with it? Not that often, unfortunately. I think we're gonna put this on B tier because I think other cards are better. Yeah. Once again, I feel like a lot of these cards would be higher on the Brute. They're better than the Brute's cards in many ways. But yeah, let's fill up B tier a little bit. It's a special mixture. 33 initiative, that's really bad for the Scoundrel. Top is a heal 3 self. A way to heal. Cool. That's good. That's decent. Bottom is move 3, then poison 1 adjacent enemy. Target 1 adjacent enemy. So you move somewhere, you poison someone. So you do this together with flanking strike or single out. You attack for 6 without burning a card. Which the Brute would. He can attack for 6 with his balance measure, for example. Using his boots and his highest grab and go, his highest initiative move card, I mean. He can move 6 and then attack for 6. He will have had to use a item for that. Scoundrel can move 3, which is less, of course. Put poison on someone and then get to attack for 6 without burning a card as well. It's way better, of course, than the Brute. So yeah, this I think I really like bottoms with like special effects on them, where you get to move and do stuff. The top isn't good though. The initiative isn't good though. I'm gonna put it in B. Yeah. Yes, I am. We're gonna put it down here. Maybe the 4 first cards, or the Smoke Bomb should be on S tier. But yeah, let's put it there. I think it's a good card. That's the thing here. Like, I think the B tier cards are pretty solid. I also like the one I put on C tier, honestly. Sinister Opportunity. 93 initiative. I think that's awesome. A way to go last for the Scoundrel. The top. Attack for 3. Add +1 attack for each of your allies adjacent to the target. Okay. If you have a dark, add +2 attack instead. So, you would compare this to flanking strike, which is an attack for 5 adjacent to someone. This is an attack for 5 if you have a dark and there's an ally next to him. If there's more than one, this could be an attack for 7. Now, what generates dark? Not a whole lot of things, but freaking Smoke Bomb generates dark. So this could be your double damage attack, and maybe it should be. So you would go Smoke Bomb, stand in the middle of the enemies, maybe somewhere cool, and then you could go at 93 on the following turn, which means your allies could maybe help position around someone. If you have a melee oriented team, tanks and such, maybe they stand next to a boss. Maybe you get 2 allies next to the boss, and then maybe you'd use the ring to summon a skeleton next to the boss. That means 3 characters next to him. You have generated dark on the last turn. So you get 6 plus damage for those allies, which means you attack for 9, but you have Smoke Bomb, which means you attack for 18. Throw in a Power Potion, you could get 20. You probably want to use Power Potion for multiple target attacks, or you could have Single Out if someone's alone. Yeah, we can't see that, but then you get +2 and you can do freaking 11, 22 damage. So the top could be good. You don't generate a lot of dark though, at level 1 at least. When do you get more? I'm unsure when you get more dark. If you have the Void Warden in your team, you will generate dark more often, and this card will be as good as Flanking Strike and Single Out. But yeah, often, early on in a mission, Single Out and Flanking Strike are going to be better than this one. So, let's look at the bottom. Move 3, force 1 adjacent enemy to perform move 1 with you controlling the action and ending in a hex adjacent. You could move people into traps, you can move people next to your allies. I think the bottom is pretty good. This is one of the cards that make him a little harder to use. Like, it's gonna be super awesome with some setup. Yeah, let's go S tier. I didn't think I would place it there, but honestly, I really like the bottom as well. And even though it might do a little bit less damage than Single Out and Flanking Strike, Sinister Opportunity, it's an exciting card, isn't it? Trickster's Reversal. 9 initiative, awesome. Not the best for this guy, but it's pretty good. It's not often that 9 is worse than 4. But it's safer with 4 initiative on Flanking Strike, for example. Okay, top is a burn. It's an attack for 2. Add plus X attack, where X is double the shield value of the target. So, to do 5 damage, you would have to attack a dude with 2 shields. Then it's an attack for 6. If you attack someone with 3 shields, it's an attack for 8. You would probably kill a flame demon or a living spirit with this, which can be awesome at times because they can be a pain. It's a burn though to do that. I don't think the top is good. I think the top is pretty shit. I like the bottom. The bottom is how I like to tank. Because when you put up shields, you might still take damage, but it will protect you from several attacks. I don't like getting attacked several times. So with this one, you could position yourself early on to negate one enemy. Negate one enemy's attack. I will enjoy using this with quick hands maybe, where you can move into position and attack something. You can tank someone for 1 round. I think the bottom is pretty good. So it's very sad that the top is shit. I've enjoyed using this. If the top was better, if the top was Flanking Strike, I think this would be a fantastic card. Sadly, this card ends up being a card I use for the basic action, and it often ends up being the first card I burn. So often I'll play a freaking mission, and this card will give me move 2 once, but it's an easy way to get rid of a card. I like it, and I will often use it, but sadly it's gonna go down here. One other problem with ranking these is, like, we have Flanking Strike, Single Out up on S tier, and Sinister Opportunity up on S tier. They are kind of similar, so sometimes I will not use all three of them. But individually, I can't argue for which one of them is worse than the others. But yeah, Trickster's Reversal, let's go C tier. I like it though, but I can see that it doesn't really benefit me the way I want it to in many cases. The Swift Bow. Attack for, well, 36 initiative. That's probably, together with Quick Hands on 64, I would say it's the worst initiative he has. So you won't be using this for the initiative ever, maybe? And that's bad. Swift Bow. Attack for 3, range 4. Well, Brute has a ranged attack. Attack 3, range 3. Tinker has one. Attack 3, range 3. This one does 3 at range 4. So it's better than those. I think this is a decent attack when you move into a room. Often I will go into a room with the Scoundrel because I'm gonna go invisible, or I can go back. And I think it's, and he has a lot of movement, so I could open the door with something like Venom Shiv here with move 5, and I can open the door, see what enemies are there, decide if I want to go back or in, and sometimes if I have Swift Bow as my secondary, the top action for that round, I will be able to do an attack as well. So I kind of like it. The bottom is move 2. What? That is crap, but you loot every hex you enter with this action. Will you have your boots on this guy? It doesn't help you win missions, certainly, but I do value loot a little bit. I think this one's fine. You could compare it to throwing knives with attack of 2 on 2 targets. I think maybe this is slightly better, and the bottom is also slightly better. So I'm gonna put it in B tier here, and that's the last card. So I gotta think about this a little bit. We have a lot of B tier cards, so I think we're gonna see if one of them should go up to A tier. But yeah, Swift Bow, something I usually bring, I think. Alright, let's round things up a little bit. We've got 5, 10, 12 cards here. What cards do you want to start with? And is there a card I think is A tier here, just to even out a little bit? Not Backstab, not Thieves' Knack. Maybe, I don't really think any of these B tier cards are as good as Smoke Bomb and Venom Shiv. Like, if you... No, because most of them have like one part I like. Here, I like the move 6, not the top. Thieves' Knack, I like the attack of 3. I don't like the disarm. Right? Quick Hands. I guess Quick Hands, if I were to say which card is best on B here, maybe it's Quick Hands. I don't like the bottom loot. It's not great. I would rather have this loot than maybe this is the card. I don't think I can put that next to Smoke Bomb and Venom Shiv though. I think we're gonna keep it like this. What cards would I start with on this character? Good question. I don't know what I usually pick. I know I don't use Trickster's... Oh shit, that's the wrong thing to move. I know I don't use this one. This is the one card that I remove immediately, without a question. I think having all three of the S cards is a bit over the top. So I think maybe I remove Single Out to keep Flanking Strike and Sinister Opportunity. Though it's often I would rather have Single Out than Sinister Opportunity. But yeah, I would probably do Flanking Strike and Sinister Opportunity here with Smoke Bomb, Venom Shiv. I will dump Backstab, and I will dump Trickster's Reversal. Which is kind of weird not using one of the cards I placed in S tier, but you have 3 of them. Maybe they all should be bumped down. Anyways, that was the Scoundrel, based on like how I play and my. If I look back and think about the cards, how have I gotten to use them? I think a lot of them are. Some cards are good in theory, but I never get to use them as. They never get to be as good as I hope they will. Like, for example, Trickster's Reversal, the bottom. I think that's great in theory for the way I play. But then the bottom, which lets you avoid an attack, it's so rarely I get to use that to actually tank someone in an efficient manner. So I want it to be good, but it just ends up not being good. But yeah, Scoundrel. A great, fun character to play. Gets more awesome cards as he levels up. Gets some more invisibility, I believe. Yeah. If you have an opinion on another character you want me to make a video of, please tell me. I'll gladly do it. We're doing like tier lists of the level of 1 cards now. Maybe we'll make some guides at some point. Yeah, we'll see. Thanks for watching. Hey, do press subscribe. And like and comment. Do it all. Help out.